I have just started the wastewater treatment preliminary, starting with that preliminary treatment, that is the screening process. Batch screening process that I have discussed. I have solved one numerical example. So that was the initial discussion took place in my previous lecture. Now, in continuing of that preliminary treatment of the wastewater treatment, next the treatment after that screening process is the grid chamber. Now, the grid chamber, what is the function of the grid chamber in wastewater treatment process? The removal of inorganic materials like grit particles like sand, stone chips, grit materials like this. The inorganic particles, the heavy particles which are settled in the grit chamber, that is the basic purpose of removal of those particles, so that it cannot interfere into the operational system for malfunctioning in the other units. So after screening, when the floated and suspended materials are arrested, next our objective of the treatment is to arrest the grit particles into the grit chamber. So this is the second unit operation of the preliminary treatment process. Rather, you would say the second unit operation. It is also the physical operation, because the settlement, the gravity settlement has been taken place. So this is the second unit operation in the preliminary treatment of wastewater, and it is intended to remove the suspended inorganic particles, mostly sand and grit particles matters from the wastewater. Now, this is basically the limited for the municipal wastewater, but if we talk about the industrial wastewater, this type of grit chamber may not be required in case of industrial wastewater. So this treatment process, the second unit operation for the preliminary treatment, grit chamber is valid for the municipal wastewater treatment. Okay. Now, the grit chamber, as I told you, is to remove the grit particles. What do you mean by grit particles? Like sand, gravel, cinder, and other heavy solid materials that have specific gravity higher than those of the organic solids in wastewater. Now, these grit chambers protect. These grit chambers are provided to protect the moving mechanical equipment from abrasion and abnormal wear, and avoid deposition in the pipeline, channels, conduits. So the treatment operating system should not be malfunctioned in the grit chambering with these grit particles. So that is the significance of this grit chamber in removing these particles from the wastewater. That is the basic purpose. Okay. Now, after separating the grit particles from the wastewater in the grit chamber, now the separate removal of suspended inorganic solids in grit chamber, this grit can be disposed of after washing to remove higher size organic matter settled along with grit particles, whereas the suspended solid settles in primary sedimentation tank. Being organic matter requires further treatment before disposal. Now, when we talk about the grit chamber, we must go into the design consideration, the design philosophy, the design process design of the grit chamber. So you must understand the thing. Now, I must highlight the horizontal velocity of flow to the grit chamber. Before that, let me say a few words about the unit systems comprising in the grit chamber. Now, this is basically the settling of the grit particles in the chamber is occurred. That is, settlement is being done, and this is called this is settlement of the particles is being done, and the grit chamber is divided in 4 compartments according to the functioning activities in the grit chamber. The 4 compartments are being denoted. Now, one is the inlet zone, second one is the outlet zone, third one is the settling zone, and fourth one is the sludge zone. You see the sectional elevation compartments of the grit chamber I have shown you. That means, I mean to say, the zone 1 if you see the elevation of the tank, the first zone 1 denotes the inlet zone. That means this zone distributes the incoming wastewater uniformly to entire cross section of the grid chamber. So this is the uniformly distribution zones of the grid particles. So this is the zone 1. Now what is zone 2? It is the outlet zone. That is, this zone collects the wastewater after the grid removal. And zone 3 is the settling zone, in which the settling of grid materials occur. And the last zone, that the bottommost zone in the mid bottommost zone portion, which is called zone 4, is sludge zone. This is a zone where settled grit accumulates. So we see the 4 functioning is being occurred in the grid chamber. So accordingly, it is divided into 4 zones. Zone 1, inlet zone. Zone 2, outlet zone. Zone 3, settling zone. And zone 4 is the sludge zone. Fine. Now length L is the length of the settling zone. That means the settlement L means the length of the settling zone. Inlet and outlet are extra beyond that length if you consider that figure. And H is the depth of the settling zone, that is also excluding the portion of the sludge zone. And horizontal velocity is small v of the velocity of the wastewater. And what is V0? It is settling velocity, that is the vertical velocity of the smallest particle intended to be removed in the grid chamber. Now, if Vs, that is the settlement velocity, greater than equal to V0, then all the particles will be removed. Because V0 is the settling velocity of the smallest particle. So if the other particle have Vs greater than equal to V0, then all particles are assumed to be settled. And if somehow there are some particles Vs less than V0, then that will be partially removed. So what is the conception of V0? It is the settling velocity of the smallest particle, which is intended to be removed. The smallest particle expected to be removed in the grid chamber has size 0.2 millimeter, has removed in the grid chamber whose size is, that particle size is 0.2 millimeter, and sometimes in practice even size smallest particle considered is 0.15 millimeter. So what is the reference of the smallest particle? Reference of the smallest particle with the size of 0.2 millimeter or 0.15 millimeter in practical case. The terminal velocity with which the smallest particle will settle is considered as V0. So this is the thing. Now 100% removal will be taken place if V is greater than equal to V0. Now what is detention time? Time is distance by velocity, that we know. So what is the distance? Distance travel, that is the whole length in this detention time, that is L, and the horizontal velocity V. If we see the vertical, then again the distance is H with the settling velocity V0, that is also distance by velocity. So since both are the detention time in terms of the horizontal velocity and in terms of the settling vertical velocity, so L by V we can equate to H by V0. Because both are the detention time, so L by V equal to H by V0 equal to detention time. So we can conclude that L by H equal to V by V0. So that conclusion we can get. Now, to prevent scouring of already deposited particles, the magnitude of V should not exceed the critical horizontal velocity Vc. So what is the maximum value of V? That is the critical velocity Vc. Because if it is more than Vc, then the scouring will be taken place and that will not be admitted. So we can modify the equation L by H equal to Vc by V0 instead of V by V0, because we can put the limiting value V equal to Vc, so that no scouring will be taken place of the deposited particle. So Vc, the critical velocity, can be given by the formula equation Raman-Datta, that is 8 beta by F Gs minus 1 into D. F is friction factor. And what is beta? It is unigranular. If it is unigranular, then 0.04. If it is non-uniform size, then 0.06. F is the Darcy-Weisbach factor, which is 0.03. G we know, specific gravity of the particle sand generally 2.65. Diameter of the particle we know. So the grid chamber are designed to remove the smallest particle of size 0.2 millimeter with specific gravity 2.65. That is the sand specific gravity. For these particles, using above expression, the critical velocity comes out. We can putting this value, substituting all the value, the critical velocity will be coming as 0.228 meter per second, and that value has to be remembered. Now coming to the point of settling velocity. Now we know the Stokes law, but the general, you do not know whether the Reynolds number is less than 0.3 or greater than 0.3. Now, settling velocity of a discrete particle depends on the individual characteristics and also on the characteristics of the fluid. Say, consider the particle matters are spherical. The general formula of the settling velocity, including the drag formula, is Vs equal to 4 by 3 G by Ct into S minus 1 into D, where is SD is Newton's drag coefficient, equal to 24 by R plus 3 by square root R plus 0.34 for R greater than 0.3 plus but less than 10 to the power 4. And if it is R less than 0.3, then it is 24 by R. Now, if you put CD equal to 24 by R and R if we transform into VSD by nu, then this Vs formula will be nothing but will be coming as the Stokes formula, which is G by 18 into S minus 1 by nu into D square. This is nothing but the Stokes law, because this is a laminar flow if R is less than 0.3. So the same expression, if we put 24 by R, then the formula can be transformed into the Stokes law Vs equal to this. If Vs equal if R less than 0.3, then we can find out the settling velocity. But if R greater than 0.3, if it is found after finding the Vs value, then you see you have the two unknown. You do not know what is Vs, you do not know what is CD, because CD also is dependent on R. So there, since there is a two unknown in the one equation, there you have to go for the trial method. That is the trial and error method to find out the Vs. And that is the principles in designing of the grid chamber. You have to go for the trial method if it is found that R value greater than 0.3. And definitely we will see in consecutive numericals when we will discuss the numericals. Now, horizontal flow rectangular grid chamber. It is basically a narrow, long channel where the plug flow is being considered. What is the significance of plug flow? More or less, the plug flow condition is assumed. That means here the minimal mixing of the minimal mixing to support settling of the particles. Since the settling takes place, so here the plug flow condition with minimal mixing, this principle has been applied. So higher length to width ratio of the channel is used for minimize the mixing. And for this purpose, a minimum allowance of approximately twice the maximum depth or 20 to 50% of the theoretical length of the channel should be given for inlet and outlet. So, if we settlement portion if we consider as L, then the total length of the channel, including both the inlet and outlet, we can roughly we can increase by 25 to 30%. That is the thumb rule. And the width of the channel is kept between 1 to 1.5 meter. And the depth of flow is kept shallow. And apart from the depth, a freeboard of 0.3 meter. And the bottom grid space, that means what the sludge is settled, that is 0.25 meter is provided. So for large sewage treatment plant, 2 or more number of grid chambers are generally provided in parallel, because one may be standby. If it is maintenance purpose, then other will be functioning. This is like this. And the detention time, The flow time actually we are considering 30 to 60 seconds in recommended for the grid chamber. You see, the proportion flow where is there. You see in the outlet portion, the proportion flow where is there for maintaining the constant flow, because there may be the flow variation, and if the flow is less, then obviously the organic particles also settle, and if the flow is more, then the scouring will take place. So we won't allow the varying velocity of the flow. We have to maintain the constant velocity for here. For that purpose, one proportional flow where arrangement has been provided in the cross section at the outlet, downstream portion. So this is all about what I have told you about the control of velocity part to the grid chamber. As I have told you, it is important that velocity of the wastewater in the grid chamber should be maintained near constant. Otherwise, again I am telling, when the flow will be lower, then the deposition, not only the inorganic but also organic solid will be also there along with grid. Any flow is higher, then the velocity will exceed the critical velocity and the scouring of the deposited particle will take place, which will not be admissible. So the velocity should not be allowed to change, and it can be achieved, as I have showed you in the figure, by provision of the proportional wear or partial film, that will also show in another figure, at the outlet end of the grid chamber. And the shape of the opening between the plates of a proportional wear is made in such a way that the discharge is directly proportional to the liquid depth in grid chamber. As a result, the velocity of water in the chamber will remain constant for all flow conditions. Now, the discharge through proportional wear can be given by the equation, that is CB root over twice AG H minus A by 3. C is a constant, that is constant means it is for symmetrical sharp edged wire, it is 0.61. A means 0.25 to 35 millimeter. Let's see what is A. This is A. So A, what is the A? A is 0.25 to 35 millimeter as shown in the figure. B, the base width of the wire. What is this? B, the base width of the wire. A is the height of the water above the crest of wire. C, A is the height of the water above the crest of the wire. So all these things have been diagrammatically shown you. So the equation of the curves, although it is not, we are not interested. So it is like this, b by 2 1 minus 2 pi, but it will not be required by us. Here one consideration is there, that sharp edge, if you see the both sharp edge, that dotted portion, that may be neglected, rejected. Why? Because the velocity is too low, that the particles will be blocked over here, because that small opening will not contribute to flow due to deposition of solids. So that's why these are curtailed, these are discontinued from the side wall at a distance of minimum 75 millimeter and height of the vertical edge A, and it is in the range of 25 to 35 millimeter. To compensate the loss of area of the edge of the wire is lowered by A by 3 than the theoretical level. So this deposit of grit, considerable quantities grit will be collected at the sewage treatment plant, about 0.004 to 0.2 meter cube per ml. That means per million liter supply of water, the 0.004 to 0.2 meter cube per ml, that amount quantities of grit to be collected. And quantity of grit will be more particularly for combined system. Now the grit collected can be disposed in the following manner. Either in the last treatment plant, grit is incinerated with sludge, or grit with screening was dumped into the sea, or grit should be washed before disposal to remove organic matter, and land disposal after washing is most common. Now, let us put an example of the grid chamber design, grid chamber channel. Let us solve a problem. Design a grid chamber for a population of 50,000 with water consumption of 135 liters per capita per day. So, population is given 50,000 and water consumption is given 135 liters per capita per day. That means, what is the total quantity of water? It is simply 50,000 into 135. But this is the amount of the water supplied. And we have studied that average wastewater flow generated is 75 to 80% of the water supply. That is on an average we have seen. So if you multiply the water supply with 0.8, that means the 80% if you take the wastewater supply, then you will get the wastewater supply 5,400 meter cube per day. So ultimately you will be converted to 0.0625 meter cube per second. Now what is maximum flow? Because the design discharge, the peak factor you have to consider because of the fluctuation flow. Now this is the average discharge you have found out. Now for design, the maximum flow you have to take. Now for the wastewater discharge, the maximum flow 2 to 2.5 peak factor we are using. So here the maximum flow will be 2.5 times. Let us use the peak factor is 2.5. So the maximum flow will be 2.5 into the average flow, that is 0.0625, which is 0.156 meter cube per second. Fine. Now, keeping the horizontal velocity 0.2 meter per second, because the critical velocity 0.228, so it has to be less than the critical velocity that you have seen. So 0.2 meter per second is a logical value that we have assumed less than critical velocity, and the detention time period is 1 minute. So length of the grid chamber, length is distance is velocity into time. What is velocity? Horizontal velocity we are assuming 0.2 meter per second into detention time is 60 seconds. So we can get the length of grid chamber is 12 meter. Fine. Now what is the volume of the grid chamber? Same. Discharge into detention time, because detention time is nothing but the volume V by Q. So what is volume of the grid chamber? It is Q into T. So T means the detention time 60 seconds and Q is 0.156, because initially you have calculated the maximum discharge is 0.156. So the volume we have got, length we have got. Now what is the cross section area of the flow? Cross section area of the flow, volume divided by length, which is nothing but 0.777 meter square. Now width of the chamber assumption was also there, 1 meter you can assume. Hence depth of the flow, you can consider depth of the water is area divided by width, that is 0.77 meter, 0.777 meter. So this is the portion of the length for the settling zone I am talking. Now left and right side we know the extra inlet and outlet zone, that is zone 1 and zone 2 we have to consider. So for that 25% additional length we have to accommodate for inlet and outlet zone. So what is the total length of the channel? The total length of the grid chamber is 12 into 1.25. Why 1.25? Now for the inlet starting point and the outlet effluent zone, there the 25% additional area you have to take. So another 3 meter if you consider, you will get 15 meter is the total length of the grid chamber. Similarly, you have to assume the 0.3 meter for the freeboard as well as 0.25 meter for the grid accumulation, that is the sludge accumulation we are telling in the zone depth, mid zone, bottommost mid zone. So total depth will be the water depth 0.777 plus 0.3 equal to freeboard plus 0.25 is equal to grid accumulation zone, which generally are considered. So we will get the depth of the grid chamber is 1.33 meter, and width we have assumed that 1 meter. So something you have to assume in the design. So finally we have calculated grid chamber length is 15 meter, width is 1 meter assumed, and depth is 1.33 meter. So this is a very basic numerical sum I have discussed on the grid chamber. Now a critical sum I will discuss on the grid chamber, that is example 2 I will highlight. Fine. Design a horizontal flow grid chamber with rectangular cross section for treating maximum sewage flow of 10 million liter per day at maximum temperature of 34 degrees centigrade during summer and minimum temperature of 15 degrees centigrade. Very interesting problem. You see, the summer temperature is given, that is the maximum, and the winter temperature is given, that is the minimum, and the flow of the sewage is given, that is the 10 million liter per day, that is given. So you have to design the tank. Nothing is given, just temperature is given. Generally, we know the settling velocity of the grid particle will minimum at lower temperature, that is 15 degrees centigrade. So at this temperature, the kinetic viscosity is 1.4 into 10 to the power minus 2 centimeter per second. Because there is a chart, from that chart corresponding to the temperature, the viscosity of the liquid can be found out. So in first trial, Reynolds number R, we do not know what will be the Reynolds number. Let us assume the Reynolds number are less than or equal to 0.3. So considering this assumption, say Reynolds number is less than 0.3, we do not know, but let us consider. Then we can apply the Stokes law. And what is Stokes law? Stokes law is Vs equal to G by 18 S minus 1 by mu d square. So the sand particle specific gravity 2.65, mu we know corresponding to this 15 degrees centigrade temperature, the d square, the 20 millimeter particle that we have considered, we have found out 3.15 meter per second. Now, when we have got applying the formula Stokes law, when we have obtained the value of the settling velocity 3.15 centimeter per second, then the Reynolds number is give Vd by nu is 5.53, which is greater than 0.3. So our assumption was less than 0.3, but it is found ultimately greater than 0.3. So that means Vs equal to 3.15 centimeter per second is wrong, because the equation of Vs is not valid, which is valid only for R greater than less than 0.3, but here we have seen it is greater than 0.3. So using V equal to 3.5 then the trial process again, we have to go for again trial process. Let us consider Vs equal to 2.4 centimeter per second. So you consider less than 3.15. Let us consider. Then what is the R value? R value is 4.21. So greater than 3.1, greater than 0.3. So that means the drag coefficient you have to calculate. Stokes law will not be applicable. So drag coefficient you have calculate 24 by R plus 3 by square root R plus 0.34. This is the drag coefficient formula. So we have found out 7.5. Fine. Now from the equation Vs equal to that formula of drag coefficient, to calculate 2.4 centimeter, and we have assumed also 2.4 centimeter. So the value is okay. So our assumption trial is okay. So in this process, by trial and error, we can find out the settling velocity. And once the settling velocity found out, for beta equal to 0.06 and f equal to 0.03 and d equal to 0.02, we can find out the critical velocity. And critical velocity, we found that 22.76 centimeter per second. That means 0.23 meter per second. And this is the critical velocity. And what is the Vs? That is, Vs is less than critical velocity, so it is okay. Now Q equal to 10 million liter per day, that is given in the question, that is 0.116 meter cube per second. So what is the cross section area? Cross section area is the Q divided by Vc, that is the Q divided by Vc 0.227, so is 0.51 meter square. If width of 1 meter is provided, then depth is 0.51 meter. Again, you have to consider the freeboard is 0.3 meter and the space for grit accumulation in the mid bottom, that is the sludge zone, is 0.25. So you can add up these things and can find out the depth of the tank grit chamber. That depth of the chamber is 1.1 meter. Now we apply this ratio V0 by Vc equal to H by L. You know H, what is H? What is H by L? H by L is nothing but V0 by Vc. So V0 you know, Vc you know. So V0 by Vc is known. So H by L is known. So if H by L is known, then what is L? L is H into 22.7 by 2.4. So L is given by 4.824 meter. So provide 2 meter extra length for inlet and outlet. So 4.8 plus 2 is 6.8. Let us consider 6.9 meter. So total working volume ultimately found out. Working volume, I am saying working volume. That means depth of water is 0.51 into 6.9 is length into 1 is height. 1 is width. So working volume is 3.52 meter cube. Fine. Hence overall dimension detention time is, what is overall detention time? That is V by Q. V by Q is the detention time, and that is V is 3.52 meter cube and Q is 0.116. So ultimately it will give the overall detention time is 30.34 or 30 seconds. So it is quite relevant answer we have got, because we know the detention time of the grit chamber is between 30 to 60 seconds. So this is the one of the design of the tank, design of the grit chamber has been discussed. Considering the temperature effect, considering the different conditions of the situations, we have seen the Reynolds number more than 0.3. So we have used the drag coefficient. We have found out the Vc. We have found out the V0. Then we can found out the ratio V0 by Vc. From the ratio V0 by Vc, L by H we have found out. Now L, we have found out the extra length for keeping the provision of the inlet and outlet. So this is the two types of different problem I have shown you regarding that grit chamber. So what is the basic purpose of the grit chamber? Grit chamber is the purpose for removing the inorganic particle matters. Just simply settle, it acts as a settlement basin. So chamber, it just, instead of organic material, here the inorganic material settles, like grit particles like sand, gravel, these type of particles are settled. So this is also the preliminary treatment just after the screening process is being done in wastewater treatment, municipal wastewater treatment, not especially for the industrial wastewater, it is specially for the municipal wastewater treatment. So I will upload the notes in the Google Classroom, so you can go through the notes.